Quite the B-roll there, huh, guys? Well, I take zero credit for that. Just a couple shots in there are actually mine. Everything else is from the channel Insert Watch Pun. Go check them out. I'm going to leave his link right up here. He's a new channel, very small channel, and deserving of more subscribers than he has. He's going to be doing a lot of that nice macro shots on some of these Chinese watches. So go subscribe to him. I might be using his stuff more often. If we do happen to have the same watches, I'm probably going to use some of his stuff. And, you know, we've been talking back and forth, and he's allowed me to use his footage. So I'm not stealing it. He's given me permission. So, yeah, I think, I mean, he can do a lot better than me. So I figure why not use his stuff? Yeah, you guys should go check him out, subscribe, all that fun stuff. But yeah, so anyway, let's get into this review. My name is Steve, and today we're going to be reviewing the Baltany Retro Quartz Chronograph Movement model number S205033. This watch was sent to me for free by the Baltany Watches official store on AliExpress. I don't have to send the watch back, but you guys know the deal by now. That's not going to sway my review one way or the other. The full retail price for this watch is about $153, but be sure to check on coupons or feel free to wait for the sales because they do participate in some of the sales. In my previous experience with Baltany, I expect this thing to be maybe $10 to $15 cheaper during the 11/11 sale, so just keep that in mind. This watch is currently only offered in this one colorway, and thankfully it looks absolutely stunning. I love it. The watch case is made of 316L stainless steel, has a sapphire crystal, screw-down crowns, screw-down case back, 100 meters of claimed water resistance. It is supplied on this black nylon strap, as you see here. The watch is powered by the Seiko VK61 Mecha Quartz movement. The watches come with a 2-year warranty, and all Baltany watches come in this pretty nice travel pouch. So that's, yeah, nice packaging to see, and it's actually usable. So yeah, it's a kind of a selling point for it. So by now, you guys know that I love Baltany watches. They have found their niche in the market by supplying us really nicely executed vintage military styled watches. And I mean, this one's no different. It is awesome. Absolutely awesome. I love it. So I say we get right into the review. Before we do, I am wearing my Escapement Time. This is a quartz dress watch, really, really thin. This one will be coming up on the channel very, very soon. Well, let's get to the measurements. So I'm getting just under 39 millimeters in diameter, 12.3 millimeters thick, 20 millimeter lug width. Lug tip to lug tip is 46.4. And on the supplied nylon strap, it weighs 72 grams. So it's a great size. I like that Baltany is kind of going up to this 38, 39 millimeter size. You know, they make a lot of 36 millimeter watches, but those are just a little bit too small for me. So I do really appreciate the fact that they're bringing up a little bit bigger watches. They sell tons of 36 millimeter watches. I actually have another one on the review table. So yeah, I do like this 39 millimeter size though. I think they got all the dimensions right. You've got some nice curvature to those lugs as well. This thing wears great. I absolutely love it. I like the bead blasted case as well. Yeah, it wears really good. I'm going to go outside right now and throw it on my wrist for you. And here we are on my 7.5 inch wrist. And as you can see, I mean, it wears great. It wears absolutely great. 2 layers underneath the watch there with the stock strap. And nice turn down to those lugs as well. So it hugs very nicely. Looks really, really good. I think it looks great. I think it looks absolutely awesome on the strap too. I like the matching buckle hardware. We'll talk about the strap in a little bit. And here we are in some direct sunlight. You can see, I mean, there's no real light play off the case at all. It looks really good. And I think the crystal has plenty of AR coating on it, so that also looks really good. I mean, you get a little bit of reflection there, but I mean, that's direct sunlight, and that's not bad at all for this type of crystal. So very happy with that. As usual with Baltany, they do a really good job on their crystals. So all right, let's go inside and let's throw this on a bunch of straps and we'll get back to the review. And here we are on an olive drab green strap from Riche. I think that looks really good. What do you guys think? Yep, very happy with the way this thing looks. Very, very, you know, military vibe to it. And here we are on a brown vintage strap from Straps Co. This will be linked down below. I think that looks pretty good. What do you guys think? Yeah, I like it. Looks really good. And here we are on a red stripe nylon strap, 1 layer underneath it there. I think the red kind of brings out the red tip of that chrono second hand. Yeah, what do you guys think? I think that looks alright, not my favorite. And lastly, here we are on another nylon ribbed, 2 layers underneath the watch there. I got this one buttoned down a little too tight, but yeah, I still think it looks really good and it's very comfortable. Yeah, I like the brown. I think that goes really nice with the dial. What do you guys think? All right, let's go back inside and let's get back to this review. All right, so let's talk about the case finishing. So case finishing is very, very simple on this thing. It is fully bead blasted. It's a really smooth bead blasting. I'm going to bring in my Hamilton, and you can kind of see. So the Hamilton is a little bit more rough and coarse. Yeah, it just looks a little bit different. So the Baltany is really nice and smooth bead blasting. It looks great. I see no issues with it. It's even all around. Very nicely done. You see you have screw down crowns here. All 3 of these are screw down. Nice oversized crown. That is 7.4 millimeters. But yeah, really nice crowns. Good grip on these crowns as well. I can talk about these right now. So these are very smooth. Yeah, the only other screw down crowns I've really messed with are like the Pagani PD1661, I believe, or no, 1664. Those have screw down crowns. They're definitely not as smooth as this is. Really happy with these crowns. You can see here they're unsigned, which is what you kind of expect from Baltany. But yeah, nicely done. And you can see here when you unscrew them, they kind of got the knurling on the inside too. It's really interesting little touch there. Nicely executed though. Very happy with them. They feel nice and solid. They're nice and smooth to operate. Yeah, they're great. No problems with the crown on these things. Yeah, really, really good. Flipping it over and looking at the case back, it's just a sterile case back, circular brush, simple notches to get a tool in there if you ever need to remove the case back. And that's it. I mean, very simple. Same bead blasting on the bottom of the case as well. I got no issues with the case back. It's perfectly acceptable. Kind of what I expected from Baltany. It looks good. You notice I have quick release spring bars in here. These are not what came on the watch. I replaced the ones that came on the watch with these ones just because it's easier for me to do. But yeah, nice case back, nice case in general. I do like it a lot. Now let's talk about the crystal. Test it for sapphire real quick. You can see it is positive for sapphire. And again, it's a really nice crystal from Baltany. Plenty of anti-reflective coating. It's clear AR, so it's not blue. Really nice to see. I'm always happy with the crystals. This one's not quite as interesting as some of the other ones. They use a lot of these box crystals. This one is just a very ever so slight double dome crystal there. No distortion, nice big chamfer on the edge. It sits up a little bit from the bezel, as you can see there. Yeah, I mean, I got no real issues with the crystal at all. It looks good. It looks really good, actually. And they use a lot of AR, so I'm happy to see that. You can see right on this corner here, right in between the 10 and 11, right there. I actually just dropped this watch from about waist height, and it looks like the crystal took the hit and it kept on going, so it's nice to see. It's a good solid crystal. The case took no damage at all either, so it seems to be a pretty tough watch. First time I've ever dropped a watch, and it's this one, so yeah. Yeah, so let's talk about the dial on this thing. So the dial is really, really nice. It is a matte black dial. There's no gloss to it at all. No sunburst or anything like that. Very nicely done though. You got a white printed minute track around the outside with sub-second markings. You've got the 5-minute markings marked with triangles. The 12, 3, 6, and 9 triangle are slightly bigger. Those are using the C3 old radium lume, as are the hands. The numerals on this are using BGW9, so the white markings here are all BGW9. The tip of the chronograph second hand is also using BGW9, but I think the application is really good. We'll get to the lume shot in just a second, but really nicely done. Getting in fairly close here, you can see the printing is nice and crisp. You've got your Baltany and chronograph printing at the 9 and 3. I think those look really good. It all balances out nicely. I'm going to start up the chronograph hand here. So the 12 o'clock subdial here, that is your 60-minute counter, and you can see it is fully marked. Every single minute has its own mark, which is nice to see. It makes it a lot more useful as a chronograph. This subdial down here at the 6 is your running second hand, so at least you always have something ticking on this watch. Really nice to see that. When you get these 3 and 9 o'clock, these bicompact style dials. It does look a little kind of sterile, like nothing moves on the dial. So it is nice to see a running seconds hand there. The handset on this that they chose, really, really nice. Very happy with the handset on it. Nice syringe tips to them. Perfectly sized, in my opinion. I think the color mismatch, it is there for sure. It's definitely darker on the dial than it is on the hands, but it doesn't bother me too much. You got a nice red tip to that Chronograph second hand there. Again, nicely sized, reaching right out to that minute track. The handset on this is awesome. The only thing I might change is making them white. Instead of using silver, I might make them white, because they do, as you can see here, like these sub-dial hands, they definitely get lost. So yeah, maybe white surrounds instead of the polished would look a little bit better. Definitely be a little bit more legible. But as it is, I don't think it looks bad at all. So let's get to the Lume shot. And here you can see the two-tone Lume. I mean, it does really, really well against a couple watches in my collection. I wore this the first night I got the watch. I wore it to bed. I woke up a couple times throughout the night, even 5 o'clock in the morning. I could still read the time, and that's pretty much all you can ask for in a watch like this. So I'm very happy with the Lume on this thing. It's really good, and it kind of surprised me that it was as good as it is. All right, so let's talk about the movement. So the movement is the Seiko VK61 Mecha Quartz. You can see here the chronograph second is ticking at 5 ticks per second, nice and smooth. You have a running second hand here, and the chronograph minute counter here. That does just kind of gradually sweep over. It doesn't like tick over right at the minute. So that's just something to keep in mind. A very minor gripe with this movement. Operated by these 3 crowns here. This top one, it starts and stops the chronograph. This bottom one here, nice solid feedback to it. Snaps everything right back into place, and it is just bang on, dead accurate, right in the center there, very nicely aligned. The main functions of the chronograph are up by this 3 o'clock screw down crown. Really nice size on this crown. I love this crown. It's just a shame that I'm only going to be using it like once or twice a year, because it's really nicely sized, really nice screw in and screw out action. The first position does absolutely nothing. Second position changes the ghost date position, so there is a ghost date position in here. I can feel it clicking around, but again, not a big deal. I'm happy that there's not a date complication on this watch. It keeps the dial nice and clean. The third position, it does hack the movement, as you can see right there, and this is where you set your time. Nice smooth setting of that time, nice solid feeling on the crown. There's no wobble or anything to it. Very happy with it. The screw in action of this crown is just ultra smooth. Yeah, no issues with that. Feels great, looks great. These movements are awesome. I've had them in plenty of watches. I believe they run like plus or minus 20 seconds a month, I believe, something like that. So yeah, 3-year battery life as well. They're great. I got no issues with them. I really do enjoy using them. And this one, yeah, it's a good one. All right, so let's talk about the strap on this thing. So it's your typical nylon strap. In black, you have bead blasted hardware, which is nice. They match that, so that's nice attention to detail. The buckle, again, it's bead blasted. It's nothing fancy. It's not signed or anything like that. The only branding you have on this is on the dial. But yeah, the keepers, they're sewn in nicely. I've got no issues with it. I will say the length is good, and the material is about as flexible and soft out of the box as I've felt on any watch. So I do think it's a pretty premium nylon strap. It's not your seatbelt style, and it's not like a herringbone style. It's just your typical, kind of horizontal ribbed. But yeah, I think it looks fine. I've got no issues with it whatsoever, and I think it looks good on this watch. So there you go, guys. That is the Baltany Retro Chronograph. Quartz movement, nice crystal, nice simple case, clean dial, good lume, nice movement. I mean, what else do you need in a watch like this? This is probably one of my favorite tool watches that I've reviewed. It's excellent, absolutely excellent. I love it. If you guys are interested in this, I will be leaving a link down below for it. Go over there, pick it up. That is an affiliate link. Thank you guys so much for using the affiliate links. Really keeps the channel going. I do appreciate it. And yeah, I've got plenty of watches here, almost too many watches here to get through. So hopefully I'm going to keep this, pace of every other day or so, releasing some reviews. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of work, but I do like doing it, and I know that you guys appreciate it. So I think that's about it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.